Okay, Ram Ram and Namaste, everybody on the spring cleanse. This is our general mat class. This is our general mat class. This is a general mat class for spring cleanse. It's a GI program that you can do when you're cleansing or not cleansing. You can do it first thing in the morning, the last thing at night. It's just a nice 2 sequences, a warm-up and an asana protocol to make sure that your GI tract from the beginning to the end is stretched and twisted and toned, so everything else you're doing just works better. It's accessible to everybody, every age. As long as you can be on the ground or stand up, anybody can do this. So let's begin by sitting on the ground. Knees are open, spine is tall, coccyx is a little bit above where the knees are, so maybe you're on a bolster or something, and just feel, what does that feel like for your spine to be completely in the right place, with the shoulders nice and back and the stomach nice and unhinged. The chest is nice and open, the chin is up and the neck is tall, and that is proper posture for your torso. And then we close our eyes and we begin to let our diaphragm moving up and moving down. It kind of looks like the belly is falling open and squeezing closed. So when we inhale, the belly kind of falls open. And when we exhale, move the belly in toward the lower spine, and all the air naturally comes out of the lungs as the diaphragm presses up. Inhale again. The belly opens. Pull the belly in with the exhale. And you can feel automatically the lungs empty. Inhale, open the belly, and automatically the lungs fill. Pull the belly in, the diaphragm moves up. Automatically the lungs empty. Continue doing that. 7 more deep breaths in and out with the belly opening and closing. Using the diaphragm like a bellows underneath a fireplace, using the diaphragm itself to open and close the lungs. The lungs are not a muscle. They're an organ that is helpless, sitting behind the rib cage, completely dependent on the diaphragm to make them empty and fill. With your next inhale and exhale, make note that your inhale should be about half as long as your exhale. And why is that? Why do we want our exhale to be twice as long as the inhale? Because our autonomic nervous system is in 2 parts. Run or fight is one side. Rest and relax and digest is the other side. When we exhale, we trigger the rest and relax and digest. When we inhale rapidly without exhaling, we trigger the run or fight mechanism in us, which was useful when we were running away from saber-toothed tigers, but we're relatively safe human modern beings, so we don't really need that rapid inhale. We do it to ourselves. So shifting into a long exhale will reduce blood pressure, heart rate, and triggers digestion. We don't digest anything when we're running for our lives. We digest everything when we're relaxed. So now that we're relaxed, we're going to move off of our knees and onto our spine for the warm-up. And this is a different kind of warm-up. We're not warming up our muscles per se, we're warming up the GI. So sitting in our base pose, place your hands underneath your buttocks and lay down on your hands, and up goes the feet. So when your feet are up like this, it's an inhale. To lower our feet, we flex the foot and we exhale as we drop the foot and don't touch the mat. Point the toe, inhale, lift again. Flex and exhale slowly, twice as long as your inhale. Point the toe and lift. Flex and drop. Point and lift. Flex and drop, and continue 4 more times. So you can see we're still triggering the digestive motions because we're exhaling nice and long. We're also contracting and lengthening the middle torso GI organs and intestines. So every time you inhale, you're breathing air all the way through the torso. And when we're dropping, we're lengthening everything and relaxing everything. Nice way to wake up anyway. It does warm up the whole body, but the point here is to keep the runway clear the whole day. Last time dropping, point the toe, lift. And up here, we're going to make little circles drawing on the ceiling clockwise. Small circles at first, and then bigger ones. 7 in all, and the last one, the 7th one, is very big as you can make it. And then bring the toes back up to the center and go counterclockwise. Small circles at first, and then bigger. 7 in all, with the last one being the largest. And then stopping up here. And then the next one is going to be bending both of the knees. We'll do a little bit of, remember, old school. Inhale, and as you exhale, the left knee comes to the right elbow. Inhale and open, and exhale, other side. Lengthening, strengthening, lovely core work. 4, 5, 6, and 7. And you rest here a little bit by grabbing hold of the knees. Pawanmuktasana is wind release pose. If there's wind inside the intestines, they're also not going to function well. So anytime we have constipation or gas, just squeeze the knees, roll side to side. Massaging. There's intestines in the side and the back too, peeking out from underneath your rib cage. Very good. And from here, we're going to roll front to back until we can sit up in a boat. Use your momentum is fine. And up we come into boat. This is a small boat, a little boat. It's a canoe. 7 deep breaths. We're still using the diaphragm, but it's trapped behind these bands of muscle. Ladies, we have a band of muscle here, which makes this possible for women to do this like champions. Men have more difficulty. They don't have the same baby holding things. Squeeze the knees, don't touch the mat. Very good. Second boat is the long boat. Inhale, long boat.
So I just have to turn this volume on.
Everybody okay? And squeeze your knees. If you're up for the challenge, the next one is going to be the yacht. It's the big boat, the tall boat with the tall mast. Inhale. And squeeze. And then we lie back again in Palamuktasan. And then we put our feet here. We put our hands again behind the base of the skull of the bat in the back. And we're gonna do a dynamic twist. So it looks like this. Inhaling, look at the ceiling. Exhaling, drop your knees, stack to the left and your head to the right. Inhale, back up. Exhale, opposite direction. And we just keep going 7 times in total. Exhale when you go to the side. Inhale when you come up. So now look what you're doing. You're twisting the ascending and descending colon, cool. Right. You're even twisting the gut, the duodenum, and the esophagus. Most people, when we do this protocol, they're very hungry afterwards. And that means your metabolism is on, your appetite is there, the microbes are hungry, your digestive fires are there. So I don't know if this is exactly the right time for us to be doing this. I don't want to make all of you so hungry, but this is how we keep an accurate, timely appetite throughout the day. There's simple few exercises and breathing you can do to make your appetite happen. Very good. The last time, open your hands, drop one foot over the side, over the body, and turn your head to the opposite direction and just lay there and relax. Breathe everything into the deep belly. Relax. Good. Restack those knees. Bring them back up with an inhale. Exhale, drop the knees to the other side and the chin to the opposite direction. Open that foot, grab the toes or whatever. Come close, it's okay. Just I want you to feel a nice long twist in that middle torso. Good, stack those knees again, inhale them back up. And now we have to go from here to standing to do where there's a couple of standing postures. So again, grab your knees for Palamuktasan, use your momentum to come to a standing posture. And here we are. Legs are wide open. The first one is the triangle. So right toe is pointing toward the front of your yoga mat. Leg is straight, but not bone straight. Don't lock that knee, leave it soft. Back toe, the left toe is tucked inside a little bit. Knee and toe always going in the same direction. Move your hips so that you're flat, like you're on a wall. Lift the hands. Look over the right fingers. Inhale, move forward toward your right fingers, just 10 degrees, and then drop. Stay straight, stay flat. And if you need to land here on your thigh, is fine. Never land on your knee. You can land here on your calf or your ankle or a block in front, whatever you need. And eventually, when you're comfortable here, you can go ahead and look up past your left fingers at the sky if you want to. Otherwise, stay where you are. So it would be lovely if you could hold this posture for 2.5 minutes. It would correct a lot of things going wrong with these little sphincters at the bottom of the ascending and descending colons, which tend to get a little bit lazy when we're overweight or having sedentary lifestyle. So this posture will get them back into shape. We need those doors to open and close efficiently. And when you're ready, follow your fingers up with an inhale. Exhale, looking over the right fingers again. Inhale, lift the right toes up off of the mat, point them inward. Exhale, look over the left fingers. Inhale, move toward the left fingers just 10 degrees. And exhaling all the way down. Now we're on the left side. When you're comfortable, inhale, look up past the right fingers at the sky. Breathing deep, still all breathing in yoga is deep into the diaphragm, never in the upper part of the chest, the panic zone, always deep into the belly. Even here, when we're in posture, it's still diaphragmic breathing. And when you're ready, inhale, follow your right fingers back up, inhaling, exhaling, looking over your left fingers. Good. Dropping the hands, walk your feet together for Padhastasana, means hand and foot pose. Lots of modern studios call it forward fold, but we're actually going to focus on getting our hands beside our feet. Kind of looks the same, but not really. Inhale, reach for the sky first. Inhale, reach, reach, reach. Make yourself very long as you can. Open the ribs, open the neck. Inhale. And on your exhale, leave your arms at your ears and bending only at the hips. Exhaling, exhaling. Now, when you feel that your legs cannot stay straight anymore, go ahead and bend your knees a little bit if you need to, but continue with the arms glued to the side of your head. Eventually, the hands are going to meet the floor and they're going to fall somewhere beside the feet. Padahasta means hand foot. So even if your knees are bent like this, it's still hand and foot pose. So we're not focusing on perfection here. Just do the best that you can, following the instructions of the asana. And then relax the upper torso. And here's where you let gravity reverse. Relax, surrender all of your shoulders, neck, scapular, all of the shoulders, the elbows, everything. Let gravity pull. Hatha uses gravity to our benefit. We don't fight it, we use it. Reverse the direction of those intestines. And you hang. Ideally, it would be 2.5 minutes if you could. My old Indian teacher used to call this hanging and dangling. It's not a forward fold, it's hanging and dangling, he said. Just hang yourself like you've got a rod, like you're hanging over a fence with your legs on one side and your torso on the other, and you're stuck there, and just hang like an old rag, like a rug that needs beating clean. I know it feels delicious like this. What a wonderful way to start the day. What a wonderful way to finish the day. 2.5 minutes. When you're ready to come out of this, put your arms again right on your head. Glue your arms to your ears. And inhale, lift the spine completely, bone straight, no slouching. Inhale, 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 reaching out from the hips, reaching like you're going to reach across and grab the wall. Inhaling and lifting, inhaling and lifting, inhaling and lifting. And exhale, drop the hands. Ooh, we're moving back down. Those were the only two standing postures in the entire GI protocol. So we're sitting back down again. Try to do it without using your hands if you can. So put your right foot over your left leg, and your foot can be flat like this if it can. And it's somewhere, between your knee and your buttock. So anywhere like this. So this is my right knee. So my left elbow comes around and hooks onto that elbow, onto that knee. If this is not possible for you, this is okay too, or this. Whatever. This is a twist, a deep, deep twist for all of our intestines. Do you know how many miles of intestines we have? Miles and miles and miles. Inhale, look over your right shoulder. Now inhale deep into the diaphragm and feel all of your intestines moving around, resituating. Any kinks in there? Any polyps? Any random diverticula that wants to get started? Any old undigested food? Any microbial families that need to be a little bit dusted up? It all gets disturbed and it all gets emptied. Very good. Release that knee. Inhale, come back out of it and come back into base pose, danda. And then other side, left foot over the right thigh and right elbow or right hand around that left knee. Inhale, look behind you. Normal breathing deep into the diaphragm. Good. Release that knee. Inhale back to the front and release that. So now we're going to move into child's pose. Child's pose, the knees are tight together so that when we lie forward, our belly and all the intestines are going to be pushed on by our thighs. So placing the hands behind, grab one of your wrists, tall chin, and you inhale, exhale, move forward and feel the thighs pressing inward on the belly, pressing, pushing it up toward the spine until your forehead reaches the ground and rest. So you can see we're lengthening, we're squeezing them, and we're twisting them. The only thing we're not doing is inside out, right? But we're doing just about everything we can do from outside the body to palpate and manipulate these intestines. I think a lot of times when we have issues and or disorders or even diseases or addictions or something, the human mind tends to defer attention to something else more pleasurable, and we take attention away from the problem area. But if we did exactly the opposite and love everything about ourselves and embrace everything about ourselves and learn about all the parts of ourselves and how they're supposed to work, all of a sudden they become healthy just from the focus. So here as we are in Vajrasana, seated warrior or resting warrior. This, something having to do with the heels pressing up into the buttock and the actual colon being suspended by the tissue above it, but hanging below. There's nothing, there's no chair under the colon. There's nothing pressing up on the colon. It's completely free to drop. Something about this posture initiates peristalsis. And the command for peristalsis comes from an empty colon, which is why we don't eat on top of eating. If we haven't digested the previous meal, we don't eat on top of that because it shuts down the commands for peristalsis, and that shuts down digestion and causes a great deal of weight gain. So we don't eat if we've already eaten. So this is Vajra. Again, 2 to 3 minutes in this posture, and you're going to get this printout in your email tomorrow morning, so you can go ahead and print the warm up and the asana out, so you can have that right by your bed in the morning. Now that we have pressed up against the belly with our legs, now we're going to press up on the belly with our mat in Cobra. Simply put the hands out in front, extend the legs, and drop yourself right down onto your belly. Fingers are open wide, and the thumbs are right at the breastplate. Toes, shins, knee, thighs, all zipped up like a nice cobra tail. Elbows are tucked in. And inhale, raise yourself up into a baby cobra. And exhale. We're not going to go into a king cobra because I want you to stay here with the full torso on the mat, so that when you breathe deeply, you can feel the intestines being pressed up toward the spine. It's an odd sensation, especially if you have a lot of visceral fat around them. They're trying to maneuver into a different place to feel comfortable, causing them to press on organs, digestive organs, kidneys. Maybe you can feel your kidneys or your liver. If you can't, just take a deeper breath until you can feel all the organs pressing up against your spine and ribs. Cobra is good for a lot of things. You know, in classes, you'll see it used for strengthening the back, for toning the whole rotator cuff complex. But here what we're doing is we're putting our attention in our digestive organs and all of the intestines. And I want you to really inhale deep and feel how they squish around and move and try to find a comfortable seat. But they can't because there's the floor. Good. Take a break here before we go into Shalabhasana, locust pose. Just push back again into Shashank or child's pose, whichever you prefer. Give your back a rest. And then come back to where we started. for locust. The hands are gonna go under the thighs. Palms are facing down. Now, this is a point of preference. I prefer to do this under my groin because it just gives me a better lift, I guess. It's more comfortable. And the other way, I feel like I'm smashing my hand and my watch, and it hurts. So I put a fist right there under the top of my thigh, and I roll my shoulders together. So I get a nice good lift. And on the inhale, lifting both legs. Good. And drop them and release the hands and press back for one more rest in child's pose or Shashangasana rabbit pose, whichever you prefer. Give your spine a rest. Very good. And the last one on our belly is the most difficult. If you can't do it, it's okay. This is Dhanurasana bull pose. Reach behind, grabbing hold of the ankle, not the foot. The knees are about 12 to 16 inches apart from each other. And first you inhale and lift the chest and the chin. Exhale, still feel that belly pushing on the floor. Inhale again and lift the knees. And as you inhale, you can feel yourself rocking back and forth a little bit. This is extreme squishiness with the intestines. They've got nowhere to go. You're squeezing the back so they can't get out that way. They can't get out the front. There's only the sides. So now they're pressing out toward the ascending and descending colon, giving a massage there. Weren't the ancients so smart to find a way to massage the intestines without surgery? And drop and relax and press back again one more time, giving your back a rest. And finally, we've all done all of the good things that we're going to lie back into Shavasana. Few minutes, let the intestines go home, probably to a new home. Relax. Shavasana is the hardest of all. We do our 4s and 7s here. Back to the breathing with the diaphragm. Inhale, the diaphragm rises to a count of 4. Squeeze the diaphragm to the count of 7. Again, 4s and 7s. Inhale. Exhale. Continue. 4 more deep breaths. 4s and 7s. And when you're ready, if this were the morning, when you're ready, roll over into the fetal position. There, build your intention for the day as an infant seeing the world new. And then you push up with your hands like a small plant from a new seed, rising from the soil. Come back up onto your bolster or bench. And something I'm going to show you here, which is not on the printouts, is a kriya. Kriya meaning a cleansing, an internal cleansing. Like we wash our skin, we can also wash the inside of our body with special techniques, sometimes water, but in this case, it's going to be with palpation. We're going to massage again the intestines so that they empty. So this in the Vedas would have been written about for people who have eaten something contaminated, people who have been poisoned somehow, people who have obesity, that their intestines are not moving very well, Kaphic people who have a slower movement of the digestive tract, or people like me, wind-based people who don't always get hungry on time. We can do this kind of kriya to clean out the intestines, empty the bowels, and then be hungry on time at 10:30. So it's called Agnisar Kriya. It means fire cleaning. So we're going to be focusing on this part. I want to show you the instructions first before we practice, because it's really important you do this right. If you do it wrong, you can cause headaches during the day. So we don't want that. So there's a process. So inhaling deep, exhaling completely, squeeze the belly in, exhale, 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 drop the chin, lock the throat, lean forward, push down on the knees, the elbows come up into my ears. And as my head hangs, I'm pressing the belly in and out and in and out, forcing my belly button back toward my spine over and over and over again, palpating the intestines. So they're forced to drop whatever they've got stuck in there or slow. They'll force it out. To come out of this, I have to lift my chin first before I inhale. If I don't, it causes some problems with the esophagus, inhaling and sitting back. Make sense? So we're going to do 3 Agnisar Kriya, 3 sets, and in between, we go back to normal breathing. So let's practice together, listening to the instructions. Breathe deeply and fill the entire lungs with air. Exhale, squeeze the belly in, exhale all of the air, plus more. Exhale, 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 exhale everything. Drop your chin, lock your throat, lean forward, push down on the knees, the elbows come up into your ears, and begin pulsating the belly button in toward the spine, over and over and over and over. Then lift the chin, inhale, sit back, slowly leave the eyes closed, breathe normally. Today is just for learning. As you get good at this, the number of palpations that you do while you're in the Agnisar Kriya can range from 10 to 30. It just depends on your capacity for keeping all the air outside of your body while you do this palpation. Second round, inhale deeply, fill. Exhale, squeeze the belly in. Exhale everything out, plus more. Drop the chin, lock the throat, lean forward, press down on the knees, shoulders up in the ears, hang the head, palpate the belly. Lift the chin, inhale, sit back, breathe normally. Last time, inhale deeply. Exhale fully and then some. Drop the chin, lock the throat, lean forward, press down on the knees, shoulders up in the ear, palpate. Lift the chin, inhale, sit back, breathe normally. So placement of this is only done on an empty stomach, so it really is a morning practice. If you went to a big function the night before and the wedding meal, the wedding cake, it just is not moving through the intestines at a pace that you can appreciate, you can wake up in the morning and add this to your protocol. If you haven't eaten and now it's 10 o'clock and you're still not hungry, you can sit down and do this, and that will help as long as the bowel is empty. If you do this on a belly that has food in it, intestines have food in it, colon has fecal matter in it, it's going to push the food up into your brain and you'll have a very lovely low-grade headache right here for most of the day. So it is a miracle practice. Agnisar Kriya, AGNISAR Kriya, Krya, Kriya. It's wonderful. So this is your GI protocol. Let's open now for some conversation to see how we did. I'm curious what you think of that. The whole thing together, it shouldn't take more than 20, 25 minutes in the morning. Somewhere after your dinacharya, this would be a nice protocol to go to for your regular daily practice if you're dealing with some GI disturbance or imbalances in weight or appetite or lots of reasons. How'd we do?